Om Jananing Sharadang Deving Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Padapadme Tayo Sitva Pranamami Muhu. I offer my salutations to the Swamis on the dais, namely Santatmananda ji, Atmalokananda ji and Sukhananda ji. And my salutations to you all, the devotees. You are no less than we are. The Swamis, as such, I look upon you also as divine, as everyone present over here and present outside the hall even. If you say that no, we do not deserve that salutation or that epithet to be used for us, then my humble question is, what you are after all, if not divine? Because you carry the divine within, each of you, unawares only. And in deep sleep, for 5 to 6 hours a day, we are all one with that highest truth. Mind that. That is our real nature. Simply, we are not conscious of it when we are wide awake. That has been our pride. So you are as venerable as anybody. Simply, you have to be conscious of it. You are never demons, never. And so are the living creatures present, because even they go to sleep, and in sleep they transcend all barriers of duality. And we are all one in that state, and we are all different in the waking state. We are all different. And we differentiate between us in so many various ways. We have divided humanity between men and women, between the learned and the unlettered, between the poor and the rich, and between the virtuous and the vicious. And we behave among ourselves like that. That is the plight. Kindly see that in deep sleep we have made everybody one. Each one of us is a conscious being, and there is no division. When we are all conscious, consciousness itself, we are not half of a consciousness or 1/3 of a consciousness. As Swami Ramakrishna used to say that this consciousness itself is identical with our citizenship card. You may be the President of India, I may be a day laborer working in a field, but both of us possess this card, citizenship card. There is no 1/3, 1/4 or 1/8 of it. So remember that consciousness is like that. So if you pay respect to you, you pay respect to others also, and try to obliterate all the differences that you see, that we see outwardly. That is what is called Rishihood. You have to try to do that. And when you see that you are that, everybody is like that, then everybody's sufferings and happinesses become your own sufferings and happinesses. We are all concerned with our own welfare, own well-being. We are oblivious, we are rather apathetic to the plight of the persons living around us. Swamiji didn't want to live in that India. You are all educated. Even our women are very much educated. They are much ahead of the men folk. We see that, isn't it? But as human beings, we have not been able to improve ourselves to that state. Swamiji's life is characterized by three dominant sentiments, I should say. These three things are his guru, his love for the Shastras, and love for the motherland. Guru, Shastra, এবং Desh, Matribhumi. These three were his objects of veneration, adoration. Mind that. Why this Guru? His Guru is eternal and he taught him to be eternal. The scriptures taught this eternity, and from these two it follows that Swamiji is born to make this India eternal. That's why he says, this is my India, the eternal India. I would create it, recreate it. With what? With lots of programs to eradicate the barriers and impediments lying on the path. Ibn Maharaj, in his introduction, he has given us the synoptic view of Swamiji's ideas, what we have to do, and what was the condition, the then condition of our India. Atmalokananda ji is trying to preach Sanskrit among the masses of Soviet Russia. It is a good venture. Through this study of the Shastras, he and his colleagues are doing a lot for Swamiji's work. Obviously, Shastra is not as our Shastra is as important as Guru himself. And the land from where the Shastras originate is also great. And Swami would create this India, also great, the eternal India. There are lots of programs we have to take up, and we must not lose sight of the impediments and weaknesses and the difficulties. We can say that we are going to do that this way, that way, but we have to come up with definite prescriptions. And I will give you a little bit of practical, say, treatment to that package program, if time permits, of course. And Swamiji says, my ideal is very, very simple. Preach unto mankind their eternal truth inside the divinity. You please remember this fact. You have to be spiritual. We have to be spiritual, not religious as such. And he has defined it. We'll come to that. And as I told you, man is immortal as a soul. Our body dies. In the waking state, we do consider our body to be true, but the body dies. And if our body is not there and still we function, the practical example is dream. Our body is not with us. Can you imagine the state? Still we are doing a lot. We are very much tired. And that tiredness may be visible even when you wake up from dream. Our bodies are lying on the bedstead, but we move out from our body as mind and intellect. Usually everything is mixed up in the waking state, but we can segregate our mind and intellect from our bodies in dream. Bodies are there in it, but we come out of body and move out and create a new world, enjoying it, suffering it. That is it. So when we come back, we are reborn. When we cannot, we are dead. So if you say that there is no rebirth for us, we won't believe. We won't accept that fact. It is not a fact. Because even in dream we come back. There may be some agnostics present here. They may not accept the transmigration of soul and rebirth. But to them I say, kindly try to think along this line. That when your body is lying there, inert, but still you are doing so much of job, so much of activities in mind and intellect. So mind is powerful. That is the state of Nirakar, semi-Nirakar, semi-formless state. Because mind consists also the material elements. Mind is sustained by the finer particles of food. So it is not consciousness at all. And intellect, yes, it is greater than mind, is finer than, subtler than mind, but even the grossest than consciousness itself. And what is the proof that there is intellect in you? Because you may dreams, hundreds of dreams, only a few you can remember. Have you ever seen? Only a few can remember when you get up. Why? Because their intellect was present. It is the ascertaining faculty of ours. That is it. So, Swamiji says, that divinity, that state of consciousness that we feel during the deep sleep, that India needs to be established in our life, in our society. No other country has had such a deep feeling of truth in us. So there are three definite and concrete layers of truth. Truth with body, truth with mind and intellect, and truth with consciousness itself in deep sleep. So the same thing is true with Sakar, and same thing is true also with Nirakar. And when Sri Mo, Master Masai visited Sri Ramakrishna for the second time, that could be called the first time visit. Sri Ramakrishna asked Swami, Sri Mo, in what you have faith, God with form or God without form? And Master Masai became puzzled, perplexed. The truth, it can be so diametrically opposite, with God, with form, without form. So milk is there. Can milk be white and at the same time black? He could not believe. He could not understand. And people those days could not understand this. But what happened? Here, in Shankaracharya's analysis, yes, truth has a form. Truth, it is a lower state of, it at the lower state of, and it has also no form, as if there is a form, mind. That is dualism, with form, dualism, bhakti and bhakto, and this is not as such. So, Ramanuja's theory of Vishishtadvaitavad, Advaita has been qualified, and last, Dvaitavad, Advaitavad, without form. This is very much intelligible for all of us when you analyze our existence in waking state, in dream state, and in the deep sleep state. So then, once being confirmed that ultimately we are divine, all powerful, your faith in the Guru Mantra, your faith in the Shastras would not be that confirmed. Faith would be shakable. Mind that. At least intellectually you have to be convinced. And when Sri Ramakrishna used to say that Jivagyane Shiva Seva, let all people imbued with the spirit of this fact, that deep sleep state makes us identical with everybody. We have to serve others as Shivas. There is no multiplicity there. This India will be transformed. This India, the eternal India, will shine forth. That has to be the only thing that we have to rely upon. Could you follow? Could you follow? You have to live in your own houses like a maid servant. Can you think of the situation that you in your own house would live like a maid servant? How do you treat your maid servants? You would be treated like that. Would you follow? How to live in the household life? So Sri Ramakrishna gave so many examples, but these are for understanding, but one for emulation. You have to emulate it. What is that? Live in your own house as a maid servant. And how do you treat your maid servant? You will be treated like that. You would have no right to ask for things for yourself. You are a karta. You are the family head. Everybody is frightened because you are the earning member. You supply food and amenities to the family. Everybody is afraid of you. You have to live like a maid servant. You have to understand the feelings of this. And when you are to serve jivos as shivos, you do not have to imagine that these jivos are shivos. You have to have this firm conviction. Because in the deep sleep state, we all become Shiva Swarupa. And when Sri Ramakrishna says, Shivogana Jivo Seva Karo, he didn't feel, he didn't mind that you have to assume. You have to take it for granted that they are Shivos. They are Shivos. Suparnananda ji, should I refer to that case also? At the subhuman levels? Even at the subhuman levels. Horrible statement Swamiji made. You look upon humanity like that. They are also the very veritable manifestations of the divine. But Swamiji says, you have to live all the lives after having the say first human birth. You have to leave that body. You have to attain that body of Buddha, which never dies, or which dies forever. Buddha's body dies forever. It does not come back. Do you get me? Buddha Sharita more gele ar phirbe na. Nirvan. Till then, we have to be reborn. So after getting the first human birth, we have to live that life. Our goal is to get to that body. At the lower level, you have to live all the lives at the subhuman. You have to live all the lives at the subhuman level. How is it? And Swamiji's audience became very much perturbed. They shouted, how could you say so, Swamiji? And Swamiji told, yes, you will do it all in the mother's womb. Could you follow? In the mother's womb, we lived at least at 84 millions of births. From amoeba to human being. In the middle lie all the lives. Even the insects in the mother's womb, we were insects. When we are in mother's womb, a 4-day or 5-day existence, 4 or 5 days existence, you just think of it. That's why Swamiji says even the earthworm that is crawling under your feet is the Buddha involved. And Buddha is that earthworm evolved. So from monkey to human beings, we said, isn't it? But have you ever seen a monkey turn a human being? No. But in the mother's womb, before getting the human body, just we had that shape. We lived that life. We lived all those lives. You can verify it. You can verify it. So in this single life, we have to pay respect to all lives at the subhuman levels also. We have to take care of the entire universe in a way. Because material world of matter, macrocosm, it does not exist outside of us. In its smallest unit, it enters prana. It goes beyond akasa. That's why it could not be further divisible, and it enters us. And Swamiji told this fact in 1894. Scientists were baffled. So in its finest particle, where it goes, it does not exist in the outside world, in the space. That's why it becomes undivided. Where it has gone? Swami says it has gone to prana. But to you, the research scholar, so that is that India has to be awakened. So he wanted to establish man first, manhood, man with manhood. Because we are all busy with our body. And we engage ourselves in so many evil deeds. And we all descend to the level of animals. And we do not have any definition of man till now by the scientists. In your textbook you won't get. They have defined everything under the sun, scientists. Each piece of matter has been defined. This is microphone. This is bulb. This is light. If it cannot function well, the mic man will replace it. It would be put to the garbage box. It has lost its property. So properties of matter you have understood. And just remember that boy, the boy in the class who, after listening to the physics teacher, that actions and reactions, the third law, actions and reactions are equal and opposite. And he started creating trouble in spite of being warned several times. And at last he repeated, and the teacher went up to him and slapped. The boy immediately asked, so this is your action. What reaction you expect? Could you follow? What reaction you expect, sir? Then the teacher became very much annoyed and said, Are you a matter? I am discussing the properties of matter. And the boy shouted that, is there matter only in this universe? There are men also. There are men. What about the properties of a man? Can you tell me? What are the things, what are the qualities that a man should possess so that he can be called a human being? Probably that is why I do not know what was the case in your cases. When we are at the primary level, we were asked to write essays on pets, on river, on this and that, but never on man. Science has defined everything, every object in this universe except themselves, except man. And that's why Swamiji says, man, man and man. Man does not know his own definition as yet. And Swamiji exhorted, হে ভারত ভুলিও না, জানেন তো? হে উমানাথ, হে জগদম্বে, মা আমায় মানুষ করো। We are all human beings born of human mothers. But we have to take more trouble to become men. Simply by being born of human mothers, we are not men. Like all animals. Because we are born with mixed qualities. There are animal qualities in us, there are manly qualities in us, there are divine qualities in us. We have to select each of these and remove. At least 5 things we have to attain. What are these 5 things? Non-violence, truth, non-stealing, cleanliness, and Sangyam, control of mind, moderation of behavior. Ahimsa, Satya, Astya means non-stealing. Shaucha and Sangyam. These 5 things you don't find in animals. You have to become ahimsa, non-violent. You have to be truthful. So these are the topics. So it requires time for elaboration, but you just take it for granted that we have to be ahimsa, we have to be non-violent, we have to be truthful. We have to be clean in physical body, in body and mind also. And we won't say steal. We won't steal. You know, dogs and cats, they steal. They are dogs and cats. But when we do that, we become identified with them. And Swamiji says that you have to make your occupation pure for that. This Chaurya Vritti, that is as if inherent in us. It may express itself in so many various ways. You have accepted a job and also the conditions, but you become less conscious of the conditions and more conscious about the monthly pay packet. You become negligent of your duty properly. That is also a sort of stealing. That's why you have to purify your occupation. Occupation has to be made purified. That is a great thing. Then you can develop a highly spiritual life if you make your occupation pure, vritti pure. Buddhadev exhorted sammak ajib, right type of occupation, sammak ajib. And in the Chandi itself, we come across Ya Devi Sarvabhutesu Vritti Rupena Samstita. Mother, you are present before us in the form of occupation. So if you disregard your occupation, you are disregarding your mother, Mother Durga. So you have to worship this occupation as you worship Mother Durga. Or I will go a few steps forward. So instead of worshipping Mother Durga on the in the pandal, you put in place of Mother Durga your appointment letter. It is indicative of your Durga occupation, and worship that. Don't play hide and seek with your occupation. Occupation is so great. Simply by making it pure, you can earn a lot. Swamiji thought of making his plan that way. He wrote, our purpose is to create a Vedantic society of equity, freedom and sacredness for the development of human personality. Could you follow these three things? So our purpose is to create a Vedantic society of equity, freedom and sacredness for the development of human personality. This equity, how can you bring about? Equity, and equality. The first one is, of course, making your vritti pure. And when you are to think of freedom, not freedom of speech, this and that. It is the freedom of what? Freedom from the senses, not of the senses. Our sense enjoyment is unbridled. You have to put a full stop over there. Or you have to be very careful about enjoyment. Because sufferings are so much around you. You have to open your eyes towards that. So, freedom not of the senses. Never tell your mind, go and enjoy, but tell your mind always, control. And sacredness for the development of human personality. So we are all sacred, okay. But in your personality, you have to maintain it, and you have to show to others also, to yourself as well, how to develop it. It is not enough to recognize sacredness in others. But Swamiji says, you have to show the way for the development of human personality. And when we are all made according to this principle of Manu, ahimsa asattam astyo, saucham samjamam evacho, iti samasikam proktam, dharmasya panchalaksanam, মানুষের ধর্ম। আজ মানুষের ধর্মের these are the 5 things has been noted down. But curiously, you know that there is no mention of education. Education is not there. Education has not been included in making a man a man. Because even without education, you become a human being if you have attained these 5 things. And what has happened in our case? At the age of 22, our students are passing out. They are they are educated. Education life is complete, yes, but they have not in their lives inherited any of these 5 requirements. What does it mean? They are not human beings. They have lost their properties as a human being and eligible to go to the dustbin. They become garbages themselves. You ask them, and then the boy, that's boy, he explained it in the class, and the teacher interrogated him, how do you know all these things? Well, my grandfather told me. He is a Pandit. So these 5 things we have to meditate upon. Now this is number 1. Number 2 is how to bring about these 3 things: equity, freedom, and sacredness for the development of human personality. You have to make your profession pure. Now you have to socialize God. Socialization of God. Socialization of the divine. What it is? Interestingly, the eternal problem of society is whether God or man. At least humanity has been divided into 2 classes. One class having faith in God, they are all capitalists. They want to preserve their individual traits. And they don't want to sacrifice their individuality for what? For the collective. They oppose socialistic view of life. Do you follow? So they are strictly individualistic. Those who have faith in God, they are individualistic. They develop capitalism for their growth and they oppose the collectivism as such. Socializing their capital. They want to preserve their individual belongings. Mind that. This is one group. And the other group, they are socialistic in view and they want man, not God. And they want to sacrifice man. I know. They want to sacrifice man. Just see. They want to sacrifice man. So that has to be noted carefully. This is socialization of the absolute. And Swamiji resolved this conflict by what? By making God equal to man. If there is no difference between man and God, that is his principle. Man is also divine. then serving man would be serving God. That is his philosophy. So he made God the property of all. And usually the so-called socialistic views subscribe to what? Tell me. God and man, they are not different. They used to make differentiation. And how it could be done? By sacrificing the privileges and serving all in the spirit of sacrifice. So we are privileged. We inherited a sound health from our forefathers. You inherited huge amount of fortune. You have to sacrifice. You have inherited very powerful intellect, and for that you are going to have more from the society. You have to sacrifice. So all these sacrifices are coming up. That is very important. So we have to serve people, and this socialization of the absolute leads to divinization, spiritualization of everyday life. This is the means to attain that socialization aspect of God, the divine. Now, what India has to do, role as the leader of nations, he has to come up. Most practical thing. Due aspect to manifest and develop divinity inherent that has to percolate to the society and will not be confined to the solitary saints only or people only. And logically, it comes that the social goal to be articulated by creating an enlightened civilization. India's role for the world as a whole and will be that of a leader. She must emerge as an ideal nation, showing the power of harmonious nature in social, economic and political matters. In brief, she must be prosperous, honest and happy, ready to accept all, to be inclusive, efficient. It is a difficult task with her internal situation torn between opposing principles professed by atheists. Here we have atheists warring religious groups. It is easy to say that I shall build India on Western civilization coupled with Eastern wisdom and culture. It is a difficult task for her to use the scientific method, the spirit of innovation and economic system. She will have to create a new world order with a powerful state model. She has to do all this along with United Nations system based on a principle of freedom enjoyed by each to decide how could it grow according to the law of its own law, there being no hegemonic power to control. It means a multipolar world and multilateral institution joined to help all and settle intergroup disputes. This is India's role as of service today. It is impossible for her to be the guide, is it? No. What is, in brief, the possibility before us? The first one, remember the Quaker group, who believes that the kingdom of God is within human beings like Vedanta. This is the Christian view. One group of Christians had this view. This can unify Christian world. Swamiji and his father were members of this Quaker group. And I attended the Calcutta chapter twice. There is a Calcutta chapter on it, on the campus of Asiatic Society. Next comes Sufi tradition in Islam. Can India with Vedanta bring bring all of these to come together to prepare a harmonious manifesto for a better world order? The blueprint has already been demonstrated by Swamiji in terms of fourfold propositions called universal faith. So universal faith has to be stressed by all means. Each soul is potentially divine, number one. Number two, goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external, internal. Do this either by work or by philosophy, this and that. This is the whole of religion. Doctrine, dogmas, rituals, images, temples, books are but secondary details. This is most important. We have to have a platform. All of us should stand on a single platform. And I just tell you that I take the example of only three sects: Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism, in three sets, intersecting sets. And the area common to all is where we shall have to sit together. And this Quaker group and Sufi group, they will unite among them. And Vedanta is already corroborating all these ideas. So we can sit together, and there should be the opening. Those who would be coming in future, they are also accommodated here in the universal set. And this is purely Hinduism, this is purely Christianity, this is purely, Islam, with their own rituals and mosques and this and that. Everything is written. But you have to come to the area where we agree upon. What is that area? That we are all divine beings. Sufism and Quaker group, they can make arrangements for, say, Islam and Christianity to come and start dialogue with Hinduism. So that way, it is very interesting that we have through our education system, a lot of children coming from, say, Islamic, Muslim families, and some of them, they take initiations, and they are occupying some important posts, either in schools or universities, and they invite us and speak. And one or two, I had one friend, classmate, who was Muslim, who after passing MA was serving a school. He gave up the job and joined. And after Brahmacharya he left, and there are monks from all communities, Ramakrishna mission. This is not at all a dream, I just tell you. This is just not a dream. We have to be consciously following this principle. And I thank Dada Atmanaganandaji and this man, he's famous for his anecdotes. While speaking, his jokes are more enjoyable than the speech itself. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.